Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, which is not surprising, this is a new booktube channel. I am Jamie. I read a lot of books. I'm active in the readathon community already online and in several sections of the Goodreads book groups, but not so far on YouTube till this season. But I figured I'm already doing all this other bookish stuff. Why don't I have a YouTube? I should have had one a long time ago. So, better late than never? Sure. It is the end of September. It seems insane that it's actually the end of September already, but it is. And I'm wrapping up with a books I read this month video. So, the books I finished this month in order by finish date are The Farthest Shore by Ursula K. Le Guin, Our Mutual Friend by Charles Dickens, The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick Volume 1, Dear Husband by Joyce Carol Oates, The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick Volume 2 by Philip K. Dick, Villette by Charlotte Brone, Adam Bede by George Eliot, The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick Volume 3 by Philip K. Dick, The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick Volume 4, The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick Volume 5, The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith, The Oxford Book of Science Fiction Stories by Tom Shippey. He's the editor, not the author of that. Star Maker by Olaf Stapledon, Tahanu by Ursula K. Le Guin, Elric to Rescue Tanelorn by Michael Moorcock, The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, which was a reread, but I don't remember it from the previous read, so apparently I read it before. I apparently didn't pay attention. The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin, Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra. And that's probably going to be the extent of what I've actually finished for September. So not a lot of actual books. Certainly not 30 books, which would be the number of books if I was doing a short book every day for the month of September. I did a lot of short stories. Dear Husband was a short story collection. Obviously, the Oxford Book of Science Fiction Stories is short stories. Elric to Rescue Tanelorn was a collection of stories and short novels. And all of the Philip K. Dick books were short stories or short novels. There were a couple in there that were also published as standalone but short novels. So basically I read a lot of short stories, which kind of works for Shorty September. Not a lot of books. For me, this is actually not a very good number of books month, but it's a really good number of pages month. I haven't tallied them up, but guaranteed with that many long books, I did a pretty decent number of pages this month. And I finished a few series. I still have a few Ursula K. Le Guin books left to finish, but I've finished a lot of her books this month. And I'm done with the Wizard of Earthsea series. So that's one series I can check off completely. I have 3 library books that I got this week that I'm working on. This one I've actually started. A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. And I don't know with all the accents if that's how you say her name or not. Or if it's even a her. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. I should probably look. See if, yes, it is a her. And she is from Nigeria, which means that the story is probably also set in Nigeria. I haven't gotten very far yet. So it's good so far. It is a bit depressing, but the title suggests that maybe some good things happen. So far, not much good has happened. Yeah, so I might have to decide when I want to read it, because this has been a very long week. As I mentioned in the intro, I rescue kittens, and right now I'm taking care of some very ringwormy kittens. One of the 2 litters was in really precarious shape, so I only have half of the litter left because the other half was too far gone to save. It's been a long week. So, depressing books, maybe not something I want to try and rush read to finish for September at the very least. I might put off finishing A Spell of Good Things for a couple days and read something happier, or at least something I like enough that it makes up for not being happy. So we'll see. I also have 2 sci-fi books from the library. I have Fractal Noise by Christopher Paolini. I don't know what it's about, but I like fractals, therefore I might like the book. We'll see. I do really like fractals. I have a math minor, and the math I really liked was all that abstract stuff and the nonlinear geometries, and so fractals are a fun thing. I can get drawn into a book just because it has that kind of math in it. The other book I got is The Actual Star by Monica Byrne, and it's another one that I don't know anything about it except that it's sci-fi, and it was in the Bees. A couple years back, when I moved to where I live now, I was running out of money and had to move home, basically, and needed something to keep myself occupied so I didn't get so crushingly depressed because it was not a move I wanted. So I started doing this project, reading all of the books in the local branch library, starting at the A's in general adult fiction and working my way down. And I didn't finish the A's. I got really, really tired of some of the authors later on in the A's. Enough that I kind of stalled out on, systematically getting the next books. And then I just started getting a few books from the A's, a few from the B, a few from the C, so that for a while I had 3 books in each letter. And then as I finished the ones from A, I moved on to the next letter at the end. So I got 3 books from E when I finished the A books and was working my way through the alphabet that way. All of these are just games to try books that I hadn't really intended to check out otherwise. Some of them turn out to be really good. It's easy to get in a rut where you read just what's familiar, what you already know you're going to like, until you don't really know if you like that other stuff or not. You just don't ever read it, so you don't know. I don't like that feeling, so every once in a while I have to play a game to mix things up a little bit. I also get a lot of my books from Little Free Libraries or from our local equivalent. We don't have a lot of Little Free Libraries around. We have a lot of crime. Little Free Libraries get trashed really fast, and I suspect they're used for nefarious purposes as well. So there aren't a lot of them, but a lot of our public libraries have a community free books shelf, where you take whatever you want and leave books that you don't want, and it's like a Little Free Library, it's just in the library. So I really love that about our library system, and I get a lot of my free books from there. They also, when they deaccession books, when they remove books from circulation, if they're in those libraries that have those shelves, not all the branches have them, but if they're deaccessioning the book and it's in that building, they tend to put it on those free bookshelves. So I've actually collected quite a few books where I turn them in, they deaccession them, they put them on the free shelf, and I just go and adopt them and take them home again. So that's where I get a lot of my books. There's also a book shed, literally just a shed that's like a little free library, except, garden shed sized little free library. And it's not free. They have a self-serve, box where you put your money, and the paperbacks are like a quarter a piece, and the hardbacks are like 50 cents. So that just pays for maintaining the shed and keeping the grounds clear. So I go there every so often. It's not in my town, but it's in a town that I have friends that like to go out there with me sometimes. So I try and keep my home library varied that way. I'm not just getting books that I'm willing to spend $10 or $20 on. I'm getting books that I'm willing to spend a quarter on, and if it wasn't very good, it cost a quarter. So anyway, I haven't put together my TBR yet for October, although I've started my wall of books, and actually behind me there's stacks of books here. These are kind of my wall of books for October. One of the things I always do, I don't know how long ago it's been, but I've done this for years. Every month I make a wall of books. And it kind of sorts the books I own into a different configuration, so I see different books and I'm interested in different books. So the books behind me are the ones that I will probably be pulling from when I'm trying to decide what to read next. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I get in a mood where I want to read all of a particular author and they're not in the wall of books for that month. But my TBR for each week will probably come from the stacks of books behind me and the ones I've already started. And I will probably start doing weekly TBR videos, partly to keep myself accountable that these are the TBR, so I can keep track of, okay, am I reading the books I intended to do? Is there any point to having a TBR in the first place? Or am I just mood reading completely right now where TBRs are a waste of time? I think TBRs are still kind of nice just to set an intention, because I own enough books that I'm not aware of them all the time. I don't think it's possible to be aware of all of my books at one time without being insane. So changing my focus to a different stack of books every once in a while does kind of make me more interested in reading, even if I've been in a slump, because now I have a new stack to look at, and there's probably a book in that new stack that really calls to me. Right now, Dreamcatcher, which is down on the bottom of this stack, is the one that's like, you want to read me, but it's a really long book, and I've got 2 really long books already going, and I really want to finish one first. But I will probably start it within a week. So probably Dreamcatcher is going to be the beginning of my TBR stack for the first week of October. But there will be a new video for that because I don't want this video to get too long. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of the books that I've read in this month. If you've read any of the books I've checked out from the library this month. And whatever comments you want to leave. And I will talk to you later.